In this video, I'm going to be going over the latest update to my golf sim, taking it from a Carl's Place enclosure to a Carl's built-in with integrated audio behind the screen, custom wall panels, a new DIY flooring setup, a brand new launch monitor to the space, refresh PC, and finally a lounge area to relax in between shots or when watching movies or games. We also just recently hit 40,000 subscribers, so as a thank you, I'm going to be announcing a YouTube live giveaway at the pinned comment down below. We're going to be giving away some really cool gifts, cash prizes, and even a limited edition Bettinardi 1 in 25 automatic watch. So stay tuned while I go over what I've done to the sim and where I've been for the last 6 months. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is DJ and I've been helping people build golf simulators in their spaces for the last 6 years. We are authorized dealers for some components as well as affiliates, which gives us the ability to get you discounted pricing on pretty much everything you need for a golf sim. So whether you're upgrading a few components or starting from scratch and are overwhelmed with all the choices, feel free to send me a message at pixelgolfco.com where you'll work with me directly and I'll help you build the golf sim to fit your space and your budget 100% free. For all of you who have been following the channel for quite some time, you're probably wondering where I've been and why I decided to completely update an already amazing golf simulator. Well, the unfortunate news is I suffered a pretty significant injury about 6 months ago while I was up north snowboarding with my family, which left me with a severely herniated disc in my lower back. It really impacted my life and made simple luxuries like driving a car or just simply moving around quite the task. I have been slowly recovering, but unfortunately golf is off the table for now aside from chipping and putting. From the very beginning of my build, I've always had an enclosure that I designed at a shorter depth to fit my nook and have more of an integrated look. But the main reason why I went with the enclosure route at the time is because there wasn't really a lot of good built-in options and all the ones out there required a bunch of holes in your wall and just didn't really look that good. However, that all changed about 2 years ago when Carl's Place announced their built-in screen that was a really clean look and very easy to install. It's also a bit more affordable than the enclosures as you don't need all the extra metal pipes and connectors. This is why I've been recommending it in my consults as it's more affordable and it makes a lot of sense for people that don't have very large spaces, especially if you have to hit offset. I've helped people do some really cool built-in builds, and the more I did, the more I decided to do one for myself, which turned into me completely redoing my entire sim setup. I'll be covering all the changes I made and will also be releasing DIY videos of each step in more detail to follow, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those. Let's kick this video off where I recommend most people start in their build, and that's the screen. My previous screen, as I mentioned, was a Carl's Place DIY enclosure that I designed to fit this nook. I absolutely loved that design, which is why I had it for essentially the duration of my sim from their original design to the C series that introduced the no bottom border approach. With the new design, they also added an option of a gray screen that I recommend doing as it improves contrast and really brought the image to life. You can check out the video I did on the channel comparing white versus gray if you're interested. Carl's Place just got a lot of things right that a lot of companies who make enclosures or screens just seem to miss, and I was glad to see those features incorporated into their built-in design as well. Also, by me swapping the enclosure to the built-in screen, it allowed me to go from a 142-inch size screen to a massive 155-inch diagonal display. You're essentially just ditching the frame and utilizing your existing walls, which actually allows you for a much larger screen. The install process is fairly straightforward as well, and they even added a new 3D design tool to help you that I'll link down below. And I also plan on filming a completely detailed video of how to use that tool correctly. Carl's Place also has a video covering the install process, but I will be releasing a detailed video with some additional tips and tricks to really get the screen perfect. Then for the pads to protect the walls and ceilings, Carl's Place sells their own system that is easy to design with their 3D tool, but they are on the pricier side, and that could be the difference between it being in budget or out of budget. But I have a great option from good old Amazon that I decided to use in this setup. It takes more work, but you can save yourself a lot of money if you're willing to do it. And a big shout out to Mike. I helped him design his built-in. He actually tested a few different options and found these to be the best as they really deaden the ball compared to a few others. I don't want to go into too much detail in this video. I'll save that for the full DIY video of the panels, but just know it's not very difficult. Now let's talk audio. For the longest time when I wanted to watch a movie or TV, I'd have to grab my soundbar from the back of the room, take it up to the front of my screen where I had an extension cord that I reached under and plugged it in, put it on a stand, and then go through the settings for whether I'm watching movies on my Apple TV or playing golf sim software to the Bluetooth settings and pair that specific device to the soundbar. While it worked, it was pretty annoying to have such a process just to get good audio, especially with my new injury, but also for my wife and daughter who were constantly forgetting the process. So after confirming that the Carl's Place screens are actually acoustically transparent, I decided to add a soundbar behind my screen, and this might be my favorite upgrade to the whole build. This really opened the door for me using the sim room even more, as I can just grab my Apple TV remote, press one button, and start watching whenever I want. And with this new soundbar, it has wireless rear speakers that plug into the back of the room and a wireless sub with no need to run extra wires. So whatever source is displaying on my projector, I get instant hassle-free audio with no steps. This new soundbar actually blew me away with the audio quality. I'll link this soundbar down below, and make sure to subscribe so you see the video of how to set it all up. Alright, let's move on to the turf. About 2 years ago, I installed MultiSPort turf in my sim after 3 other turfs just didn't stand up to the heavy sim use and faded white in high traffic areas. That all changed though when I found this turf, MultiSPort by GrassTex. It lays extremely flat, rolls true at about an 11 stimp, and 2 years later it still looks like the day I bought it, so it was a no-brainer to just use it again. I honestly would have just reused the same piece, but since my built-in screen allowed me to go a foot wider, it wouldn't fit the width, so I ordered a new roll to replace it with. I see a lot of people out there treat turf as an afterthought in their golf sim process. It makes a big difference having a good quality piece of turf. I promise you, not all turfs are made the same, and if you just go buy the cheapest turf you can find, even if it's called putting turf, you're gonna regret it after a few months. Trust me, I know from experience. MultiSPort turf has become very popular in the golf sim realm over the last few years, and for this reason, there's a lot of companies selling MultiSPort turf as the name isn't trademarked and they're just trying to capitalize off of the name. Since we don't have a brick and mortar or a bunch of employees, we're able to offer it for the best price available online with free shipping in the US. And just to clarify, GrassTex did not give us turf in exchange for a review. We paid full price for it at the time 2 years ago before we were ever a supplier with them. I just believe that this is the best stuff possible for a golf sim, which is why I highly recommend it. If you're interested in MultiSPort turf, I'll leave a link down below where you can buy it directly from us. And remember, anything you buy from us comes with my free support. I will help you before, during, and after for free if the videos aren't clear to you or if you need extra help. Now, because I'm a bit of an RGB guy and I was losing the RGB lighting around my enclosure by going to the built-in, I decided to add it around my turf. I actually got this idea a while back from somebody I helped, shout out to Jordan, but I wanted to do it with a diffused light bar instead for an even glow. I also really wanted it to look integrated, like my turf was floating off the surface, so I came up with a creative method to incorporate it around the turf that I'll be releasing in a tutorial as well. The whole light bar connects via an app, so you can easily change colors, add themes, as well as program a time schedule to remind you it's time to practice. The whole kit was around $100. I'll link it down in the description. It's an awesome upgrade to an existing sim or even a fresh build like this one. Make sure you have notifications turned on. I'm going to release a video on how to do this process also. In addition to sticking with the MultiSPort turf, I also wanted to transfer over my putting cups from the old build as I practice putting in here quite often. My new turf surface is 11.5 feet wide by 14 feet deep, so I can work on a lot of different distances. You can check out my MultiSPort video on the channel showing the process to adding these cups. It's really easy to do. Now let's round off the last element in my new turf setup, and that is the hitting insert. As most of my long turf subscribers know, I released a video on the channel showing how to make a DIY divot style hitting insert. As I was getting a lot of joint pain from those thick turf pile style inserts that a lot of companies sell. I still love that insert for alleviating joint pain, and it's what I've exclusively been using in the sim for the last 3 years. It's also affordable and allows you to replace the turf after it wears down, so you don't have to buy a new insert every single time. But I also reviewed the Carl's Place gel insert a while back and was pretty blown away with the feel since I did that video. It remains to this day the most realistic style insert I've used, and it's what I actually use for my mobile setup for a few events and shows I've done, and everyone that uses it loves it as well. The reason I never use it in my personal build though is because I actually built that DIY insert to be 13 by 30 inches and the Carl's Place one was 12 by 30 inches, so it couldn't fit. It's also a 1/4 inch thicker than my turf setup allowed for, as it was only 1.5 inches, so it would have stuck up too much, and you definitely don't want that, as someone can catch the back edge of it and ruin the insert, or worse, their wrists. But since I had to buy a new roll of turf anyway, I decided to replace my 1-inch tiles with the Carl's Place 1.25 inch golf room tiles, making it a perfect match on the height. And because I'm so OCD, I took this already great insert and removed the turf it comes with so I can replace it with MultiSPort turf for a perfect match. Trust me though, you don't have to do all of this. It was actually a really tedious process. I'm sure it will void your warranty, and the color match is already pretty close anyway. We also now have Money Putt Turf in black if you wanted a contrasting look with the insert so you don't have to worry about a perfect match. If this is something you want to do, I'll leave a link down below for the gel insert and the thicker Carl's Play styles. Oh, and one more thing. The thing I love most about my personal DIY insert is I added a tee holder so you can actually tee up your ball using real tees. But with the weight and the fit of the new gel insert, I can actually push a tee straight on the side of it, and because my new launch monitor has such a large hitting zone, I can tee one up and it'll see the ball no problem. Speaking of which, let's jump over to my brand new launch monitor next, the Pro TV-X. As most of my long-term subscribers know, I've had a GC3 for the longest time that I use with GS Pro in the sim setup, and I've been able and fortunate enough to be able to test so many different types of launch monitors through the years. I also have an Apogee that I've been using over the last 2 years with E6 software as well. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely still love the GC3. It's reliable, has a very small footprint, and allows me to play GS Pro with no additional fees. But since I've had the Apogee, I've been using it more and more because it's just so convenient to be able to turn on my computer, not have to have anything charged, and just start playing golf. But the biggest thing that got me extremely attached to using the Apogee more and more was being able to see high-speed club visuals after every shot to see what I did right or what I did wrong. It really is helpful, and everyone I have over to use the sim really preferred seeing that as well. Also, the laser that shows people exactly where to place the ball is more helpful than you think, as it keeps unfamiliar guests from misreads or putting the ball somewhere they aren't supposed to, potentially damaging your sim. And the voice command was a nice touch as well. Hey Apogee. Aim right. However, the main issue I had is it didn't work with GS Pro, and my wife and daughter really enjoyed playing Operation 36. I also have a big Masters tournament every year, and while the software on the new E6 Apex looks great, it didn't have that iconic course. And while the GC3 allowed me to play it, it didn't have that awesome post-shot visual. So here's the problem. We'd be playing the tournament, somebody would hit a bad shot and say, there's no way I flushed that, and the GC3 didn't have that visual to validate their ego. But we couldn't play that iconic course as it wasn't offered on the Apogee software. I constantly found myself playing musical launch monitors because we had to use the GC3 to play the tournament, but as soon as it was done, everybody wanted to use the Apogee so they can see that visual. Honestly, if the Apogee worked with GS Pro, I would have kept it as my main unit in the sim. But don't get me wrong, it is a great unit, the software looks absolutely amazing, and with the addition of the MultiSPort, adding soccer, shooting games, frisbee games, and all types of other sports, I actually used the MultiSPort for quite some time. I still have the newer version of it that I'm going to be putting up in the sim too, so stay tuned for that. Which brings me to the Pro TV-X. It has all the same convenience of ready-to-play golf with no charging required, and it has post-shot impact, and the main video looks absolutely incredible. And best of all, it doesn't require club stickers. No one wants to sit there and put club stickers on their friends' clubs when they come over. We should be spending our time in our sim playing golf, and to be fair, most of us just don't do it anyway. It also comes with 2 free swing cameras, giving you the option to see your physical swing mechanics if you want, which has recently become very important to me as I work through my injury, ensuring I'm protecting my back. And best of all, it's fully compatible with GS Pro. So when I have that Masters party next year or other golf tournaments with friends, we'll have validation that they hit an absolutely bad shot. You know who you are. And quite possibly the best thing about the Pro TV-X, and other companies pay attention, is they don't charge you an additional fee to use GS Pro. GS Pro is an incredible software that costs $250 per year, and it's worth every penny. Other companies know this, and they started this terrible money grab mindset.
Surprise, mother.
Where it's you can use GS Pro with our launch monitor, but you have to pay us a third-party fee to unlock third-party software as well. I'll link launch monitors in the description down below that don't play by this rule. I can do a whole video on this unit, and that's exactly what I'm going to do because it deserves it, so make sure you subscribe for that. And just to be clear, no, Pro T did not give me this unit. They actually wouldn't even give me a discount on it. I use my own money, which brings me to this. I looked up and down for weeks to find a used Pro TV-X to buy, and there wasn't a single one out there. That should be a good indication of just how good this thing is. You'll see multiples of just about every single other launch monitor out there, and most suppliers have the Pro TV-X on long back orders. I actually did some digging to find one as it was the missing piece of my build, and I found a company that has them in stock, and they allowed me to share their link with my subscribers, so I'll list that down below. They also highly recommend this unit called the V-Track. I've done a bunch of reading on this. I've seen the videos on it. It's supposed to be very similar to the Pro TV-X. I'm gonna get a unit to test down the road, but in the meantime, they provided me with a link to get 10% off of that unit that I'll link down below if you're interested, but just know I haven't actually tested this unit, so I can't put my seal on it yet, but stay tuned tuned for that unit, as I'll hopefully be testing it in the next few months. Moving over to the projector, and this one should be quick because, surprise, it's the same one I've had for the last 3 years. My personal favorite, the BenQ LK936ST, which is a 4K projector. I absolutely love this thing. It's been running strong for the last 3 years, and I feel no reason to upgrade to anything else. I'm now officially a dealer for BenQ projectors and get discounted prices on any of the models. I'll leave a link to the most popular models below in every budget with a promo code to save you some money. If you're having trouble though deciding which model is going to work best for your build and your screen size, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to have a conversation with you to show you some of the different options and pick what works best for you and your space. And remember, with purchase, you get my free support before, during, and after your build. This is a very valuable thing to have when you're doing the most difficult process in a golf sim, which is setting up a projector. I'll work with you over FaceTime or Google Meet to help you get that thing dialed in perfectly, as well as your computer settings. So in short, I save you money and our most valuable asset, time. Speaking of time, let's jump to my new addition that's one of my favorites, and that's my hidden dartboard that I installed behind the clock that everybody keeps asking me about. It has traditional darts on one side, but you can flip it over to reveal an addicting golf-themed dartboard game on the other. You basically take turns trying to hit the fairway twice and then the green to advance to the next hole, but my friends and I have already come up with some new ways to play as well. I actually use my flags for my putting holes as different tee boxes for people who aren't as good at darts. I also wanted to add some protection and aesthetics as well if someone shanks one, so I put these green pill and stick wall panels around it and a scoreboard. I'll link all of these items down below if you're interested in adding this to your build. Moving on to the PC, and just like the projector, there's not much to cover here. This is the same PC I built on the channel a couple years back. I just moved the components to a new case, added a new curved screen CPU cooler, and way too many LCD fans. Quite a few people message me or comment asking if my PC components I use in the build video are still relevant, and yes, they absolutely are. I've run pretty much all sim software in 4K at the highest settings with benchmarks, and this thing doesn't break a sweat. While we're not in the current economy to necessarily build a PC with the AI shortage and other things going on, raising the price of certain components, you can just get it pre-built, buy a cool case like the one I bought. I think I paid $80 for this one. And you can have yourself a really nice custom theme by moving everything over, and it's actually a lot of fun. I'll link the case and the LCD wireless fans down below, and a link for current pre-built options for 4K and 1080p. The monitor I use is still the Samsung 32-inch 4K smart monitor as before. I just mounted it to the wall to free up counter space and added some lighting behind it. I like this smart monitor because it has built-in apps, so I can treat it like a TV as well, while using the sim and not putting extra load on the PC. And because I use the second HDMI port on my projector to e-arc my soundbar, I added a HDMI switcher so I can add all my other sources in. And because the projector is e-arced to the soundbar, whatever source I'm using, the projector automatically feeds the audio to the soundbar for that specific source. This is seriously a game changer setup, as everything just works with no hassle. It's really opened the door for me to hang out in here more, as it's as convenient as my main living room, but with a much larger display. Which is why I finally added a seating area that is functional and really brings the space up a big notch. One of my favorite things about golf sims is you can really make them your own and add personal touches. I added some real plants to hide the rear speakers a bit as well, and a coffee table that also functions as a rear swing camera holder when I'm working on my game that can easily disconnect and store when I'm done. The face-on swing camera lives by my computer as well. It's more discreet, so I just leave it in place, and I use the same clamp style mount so I can easily remove it if needed. For further discreet acoustic treatment, I even built an accent wall with wood-looking pill and stick panels that I framed in actual wood. Adding the extra furniture, panels, and the larger turf area really helped the acoustic in this space. Then to finish off the build, I added a wood golf bag stand to keep my clubs secure and added some personalization to them as well. This is another one of those things I just dealt with over the years, where I would just put my clubs over there against the wall and they would constantly fall over. I'm not sure why it took so long to put one of these in. I found this one on Amazon for 200 bucks, and surprisingly it's actually a really good build quality. I'll do my best to link everything throughout this video in the descriptions down below. There's not a whole lot of room down there for extra characters, so if I can't fit something or I forget to add something, drop a comment and let me know and I'll point you in the right direction. So that's an update on myself and everything that I've done to my sim. I honestly couldn't be happier with how everything turned out. If you're interested in a built-in or an enclosure, I'll leave a link to that 3D design tool in the description down below. And if you need more help, feel free to reach out to me directly at pixelgolfco.com. The built-in is technically designed for flat ceilings, and as you probably noticed, mine are vaulted, but I was still able to make it work really well. I've helped people use built-ins in rooms that didn't have the straight walls required, sometimes with a few simple framing changes. Since I started this journey, it has taken me to some pretty crazy places and even put me in the position to donate a golf sim to my daughter's high school. Stay tuned for that video. I've also met a ton of great people and made a lot of friends along the way. including a local couple I helped who became great friends of mine and my wife's. We even attended their wedding. Shout out to Chris and Shelly. So feel free to reach out to me and I'll guide you towards the products that make the most sense for you, not for me. Make sure to check out the pinned comment for the YouTube live giveaway. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you on the next video.